right, hello. I'm Dora from Dora Chan Yoga. I'm a holistic stress and resilience coach, and I educate and empower women and mothers to break free from fear, insecurity, and limiting beliefs and see themselves as the truly beautiful goddesses that they are. So, welcome to my weekly connect, where we talk about various topics on how to achieve whole person wellness in body, mind, and soul. So today I want to talk about how to invite more joy into our lives. So, this is a question that I think this is a question for most people, because if you think about this, happiness and joy drive everything that we do. I mean, why do we work so hard? Why do we try to find security, in various senses, like financial security, relations security? Why do we keep striving? Why do we have relationships? Ultimately, we do these things because we think that we will find happiness on the other side. At which point, then we can relax, right? We can relax and enjoy the fruits of our effort. Seen in another way, we may be striving to liberate ourselves from suffering, meaning we're not satisfied with our present situation and or our present reality, and we want to get away from this reality and into another one where we will be happy. So, what if happiness is not dependent on attaining, accomplishing, or obtaining anything? What if you don't need a reason to feel joy? So, we have been conditioned to believe that we need something in order to be happy. We spend most of our lives searching for the things that will finally bring us happiness. But no matter how hard we try, we never quite get there. We may find short term happiness or joy, but nothing is really long lasting. And then, we begin our search again and again, and this happens over and over again. And some people can spend their whole lives running in this hamster wheel, exerting a lot of effort, but not really getting anywhere. So, if you have been running on this hamster wheel for a while, why don't you step off for a moment and let me invite you to ponder on a few things. So, what if happiness or joy is not something you need to do, is not something that you can attain by doing something? Or what if it's just not something okay, let me put it this way. Do you notice how you feel when you are striving to get something? Right? It's not exactly joy, right? It's more that, oh, I need to get to the other place because the other place is better than where I am now. Right? So when you're striving to get something, notice how you feel. Notice how you feel while you are in the process of trying to attain something. Right? When you tap into that feeling, what you're really feeling is that there is a lack. You feel that there's a lack within you. When you're striving to attain something, you feel that you are lacking in the very thing that you're trying to attain, right? And in that moment, you don't feel whole. You feel that something is missing. You're not quite happy. Now imagine all of your hard work paying off and you actually attain what you wanted. Now then what? Are you happy then? Maybe for a while. Maybe for a while you feel fulfilled and happy and satisfied, but this is transient. Why? Well, because now you will do your best to hold on to this thing that you perceive gives you happiness. And then so what happens from that is you're going to feel other emotions come up, such as fear, insecurity, anxiety. and efforting. There's a lot of effort to try to hold on to this thing, to maintain this thing that you have. So tell me, do you think you'll be happy then? Happiness, when you look at it this way, when you're trying to achieve or strive to obtain something to be happy, this is not a constant or a sustainable type of happiness. It's not sustainable or constant when you believe that it is something you need to get or obtain in your external world. Now, what if I were to tell you that you don't need an object or even a reason to feel joy? What if joy is already here within us and it's just waiting for us to tap into it? And this is why all of this searching outside of ourselves can't bring us true, long-lasting happiness, because it keeps our focus outward to our external world and away from where we can actually experience it within ourselves. One of the reasons why we don't recognize that joy is already within us is because we have been conditioned to believe that we need a reason to feel joy. We need an object or a person or a situation to feel joy. We have expectations. Whether these are conscious or unconscious, we have expectations about what we need in order to be happy. In doing so, once we have set this expectation of what we need, what actually happens then is that we become blind to all other possibilities that could bring us joy. We focus our attention and energy so fervently towards that one thing that we need to be happy, whether it be relationships or a job or education or whatnot, that we don't realize the very thing that we are seeking is actually right underneath our noses. Lastly, joy is something that you can only experience in the present. And this is another reason why we feel like we keep missing it. If you are continuously striving to do something or to get something, you are reinforcing your unconscious mind, your unconscious belief that happiness is in the future, right? You will be happy when, you fill in the blank, right? It's always set in the future. So you focus your energy in the future, thinking that that's where happiness is. It's not here right now, it's in the future. But the thing is, any emotion you feel, including joy, can only be experienced in the present. Your experience in the body is always in the present. It's always in the now. You can't feel something from the past or in the future. And you can try this for yourself. So if you think of a past memory, something that, perhaps brought you joy. So when you think of that past memory, any emotion that comes up for you is not felt as your past self. That emotion that you're feeling in relation to that past memory is happening right now in your body. You're feeling those sensations and emotions attached to that memory, but you're feeling them in the present, right? Now, even as you think about your future self, how you, when you arrive to become your future self, whatever you experience then will be experienced as the present, it will be your now in the present, right? And even as you are trying to imagine what it would feel like once you attain those things, again, the emotions that come up for you, the sensations that come up for you are going to be felt in your body in this present moment. There's only this moment. There's only now. You can only experience life in the present. So when we think of it this way, then your body can only experience in the now, but with our conditioned beliefs and our habits in thinking that we will only be happy when, what we're actually doing is we're training our unconscious thoughts and beliefs or our programming for us to live in the future. So our mind is constantly focusing on the future, thinking that's where happiness is. And so what this does is we keep missing the present. And so for one, like we said, when you keep living in the present, in the future or in the past, you're not here. You're not here in the present where you can actually experience joy, when you can actually feel joy and other emotions. Now, also, even when you attain something, so maybe your energy is so focused on this one goal and you get that goal, but instead of being able to really be present to those emotions and feelings and experiencing that in the moment, your mind unconsciously already jumps to the next thing in the future, because that's what it's been trained to do. It's living in the future. So then it's always about what's the next thing to do, what's the next thing and the next thing. And you continue to feel this kind of dissatisfaction because you're not really feeling what's in the present. Your mind is already in the future. And this is unconscious because you've trained yourself to live this way, right? So even when you get what you want unconsciously, your mind is already in the future. And again, you miss what's right here. So again, we cannot experience anything else but the now. When our mind is continuously distracting us with all the other things away from this very moment, we miss out on feeling joy in this very moment. So, what can we do to cultivate a practice that invites more joy into our lives? Well, one thing that we can start doing is to be more present. Instead of searching for that thing that we need to get or attain in the future, let's focus on what it feels like to just be with ourselves. Are we even in touch with that? That's another thing, right? When you're not in touch with your own body and your own sensations and emotions that are coming through, sometimes we don't even notice what's present. Sometimes the subtle messages that are coming through that we keep missing, we're blinded because we're so focused on that one thing that we forget that there are so many other things in life that can bring us joy. So trying to cultivate a practice to be more present with yourself, and it doesn't have to be a long practice, though you do need to be consistent with it. So even taking a minute just to be with yourself, or even 30 seconds, just getting into a habit of touching in with yourself and say, hey, what's present in this moment? And we're not doing this with our thinking mind. We're trying to feel with our body. How do I feel in my body in this moment? And then also learning to just sense without trying to attach a story to it, without trying to interpret or analyze or trying to find solutions. Can we just take a moment to just be? Because that's another thing, is that we're so busy in our thinking minds that we miss a lot of what's going on in our bodies. And then this is where we have this disconnection between mind and body. And so I won't get into that. That's a whole different topic. But let's start by cultivating more presence. And then another thing that we can do to start to cultivate more joy and happiness is having perhaps a gratitude practice. And the beauty with a gratitude practice, it can be anything. It can be it can be something that's global, that's life changing for you, that you're grateful for, or it can be something that is very simple. Even enjoying and being grateful for that cup of tea or a cup of coffee that you can wake up to in the morning and enjoy. And so, no matter what your external situation is, the wonderful thing about gratitude is that there's always something you can be grateful for. And research has shown that you don't need a reason to be grateful. Just like joy, you don't need a reason to feel joy. And in fact, the very act of gratitude, gratitude in itself, is directly linked to happiness. And so, one way to feel more joy is to feel more grateful about things that are in your life, things, situations, people, anything. And you can try this for yourself. Maybe end your day with listing at least one thing that you're grateful for that day. And then noticing how it feels in your body. How does gratitude feel in your body as sensation? And I can tell you, for me, gratitude feels like joy. So, and there are many other ways we can cultivate different practices to help us to tap into that underlying joy that's within all of us. But I think to start, just these two things can make a big difference. So try it out. Spend some time with yourself. And I think this is a foundational practice. I think maybe I recommend this for everything, is to take that time out for yourself, little but often, maybe 30 seconds, a minute each time, where you just, maybe just to listen to yourself breathe, just to be. We're always in the doing, and we're often not in the being. And being is where all the magic happens. So try it out. Be with yourself little bit often. So maybe short practices throughout the day. And then ending the day perhaps with 1 or 3 things that you're grateful for. So you might write it down even. You might have a gratitude journal, or just, just to sit with it. Feel that feeling of gratitude in your body. And tapping into the body, instead of just generating more and more stories in your head, which is bound to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Our minds, I think, are made to think. But if possible, can we start to talk to the body more? So, if you find yourself searching for joy or happiness and feeling a little disheartened on why you're not happy yet, I invite you to ponder on the few points that we touched on today, and perhaps try out the couple of practices, simple practices, and start incorporating those into your life. And of course, there's so much more we can talk about around this topic. So if you have a deeper discussion, or if you would like a deeper discussion around this, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be happy to jump on a call with you to see how I can help. And if you enjoyed this mini training, make sure you follow me at Dora Chan Yoga. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I also have a private Facebook group called DCY Community, supporting strong women heal from stress holistically. And there I stream these trainings live, but also share many resources, tips, and tools and special offers in that group. So I'll drop the link either in the comments or in the description if you wanted to join me there. And also I hold sanghas every Sunday. So in these sessions, we come together as a community to dive deep into various topics. And in these sessions, we're live and we're interactive on a Zoom call. And we have great discussions and conversations around various topics, challenges that you might be working with that you would like a little bit more support on. And we end with a short meditation practice together. So I'll also drop the link to my Sunday Sanghas if you are interested, or just reach out to me and I'll let you know more about it. Anyway, let me know what your biggest takeaway is. So drop your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Take care now.